This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Joey Chow, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for 2025 September 9th. President Lai stresses non-red supply chain to secure semiconductor future. Vice President calls AI Taiwan's next economic engine, and former Taipei Mayor Ko released on 70 million new Taiwan dollars bail. But first, today's top story. President Lai stressed Monday that as artificial intelligence rapidly advances, global competition in semiconductors will intensify. He said the government will introduce 3 concrete measures to build a resilient, non-red global semiconductor supply chain, ensuring the industry's continued growth. At the opening of the Semicon Network Summit, co-hosted by SEMI, the leading microelectronics industry association, Lai outlined his administration's priorities, strengthening the sector's foundations, supporting companies' overseas expansion, deepening cooperation across international supply chains, and creating pathways to train AI talent. Over the past 3 decades, Lai noted, Taiwan's semiconductor industry has entered the global stage through international collaboration. In today's high-tech sector and in the AI era ahead, he said Taiwan will remain an indispensable player. Lai emphasized 3 guiding principles: pursuing pragmatic, open, and trust-based cooperation with other nations, deepening integration with global semiconductor supply chains, and cultivating AI professionals. Taiwan's new 10 Major AI Infrastructure Projects initiative aims to train 1 million AI workers through a comprehensive education pipeline from basic to advanced levels. He called on international industry representatives to help establish cross-border training and exchange mechanisms, creating a talent network built on trust. He added that the forum should foster greater consensus and strengthen democratic alliances in technology, working toward an innovative, secure, and resilient supply chain. Together, we can build a more civilized future, Lai said, and deliver a better life for humanity. Over the past year, we have even established Taiwan Trade and Investment Centers in Prague, Czech Republic, Fukuoka, Japan, and Texas, United States. In addition to assisting enterprises in expanding into international markets, one very important purpose is to deepen cooperation between Taiwan and other countries in the semiconductor supply chain. Vice President Xiao Bi-kim said Tuesday that artificial intelligence is advancing at the speed of light, illuminating every corner of society and ushering in a new wave of civilization. She expressed hope that AI will help balance Taiwan's development by narrowing the urban-rural divide and improving quality of life. At the Taiwan AI Academy annual conference, Xiao acknowledged that many young people feel uncertain about AI, but to her, AI represents an endless journey of learning. She said she feels energized by its potential to provide more opportunities and tools to better understand society and complete daily tasks. Xiao emphasized that AI will be a key economic driver for Taiwan in the decades ahead. Taiwan's role as the world's semiconductor hub, she said, rests on the strength of its talent and resilience. She pointed to engineers who have repeatedly impressed the world by quickly resolving crises such as those triggered by earthquakes and restoring operations without delay. Still, she cautioned that AI also brings risks, from labor market disruption to privacy, disinformation, and algorithmic bias. If ignored, she said, technology could become a runaway horse. However, she added she does not believe this outcome is inevitable. After being detained for a year by the Taipei District Court, former Taipei Mayor Ko was released on 70 million new Taiwan dollars, $2.3 million US dollars, bail this Monday. As he left the courthouse, Ko said he was wrongfully imprisoned and criticized President Lai for sowing division in Taiwanese society. Presidential Office spokesperson Karen Kuo stated Monday evening that, out of respect for the judicial process, they will not comment on individual cases under investigation. However, they are obligated to respond to unfounded smears. Kuo emphasized that the presidential office maintains its position and that under Taiwan's democratic society, anyone suspected of illegal activity must be investigated regardless of party affiliation or social status. She called on the Taiwan People's Party to respect the rule of law. Ko faces a combined sentence of more than 28 years on 4 criminal charges related to the Core Pacific City property redevelopment scandal and embezzling funds for his presidential campaign. Per the Taipei District Court, he is prohibited from leaving the country and must remain at a registered address wearing a GPS-enabled ankle monitor. In a recent interview, President Lai stated that he is looking into lowering the application threshold for hiring foreign domestic workers. In response, Awakening Foundation Secretary General Qin Yulong said that this fails to address the core issues faced by employed women and their families. Building on a number of welfare policies promoted by former President Tsai, Lai has enabled families with at least one child under the age of 6 to apply for foreign domestic help. Tan said in an interview on Monday that the policy is unfair considering not every family can afford to hire a domestic worker. Furthermore, the policy itself raises concerns about infringing on women's rights. The government should not expand the use of the system, she said, but instead promote women's employment and gender equality in Taiwanese society as a whole. Due to the gender pay gap, women earn less than the average man does. Therefore, when caregiving needs arise, women are often the ones to sacrifice their careers in order to stay home and care for their families. Women's career interruptions are closely related to this wage gap, she said. Tan also pointed out that the expectation to work long hours in Taiwan further reinforces the stereotype that men are better workers, as men are generally more willing and able to work overtime while women must return home to care for their families. She said she believes the government should improve the quality of childcare, particularly for infants and young children through the age of 2. As of this Tuesday, National Sports Day, Taiwan's sports ministry is officially established, with 2-time Olympic gold medalist in badminton Li Yang serving as its first minister. President Lai stated Monday evening that the government hopes to create a stronger Taiwan through the new ministry. Posting to his Facebook page, the president said that Team Taiwan has achieved numerous international successes during the past few years, leaving their mark in the Olympics, Asian Games, FISU World University Games, Paralympics, World Baseball Championship, and other sporting events at all levels. Lai explained that the government has been working in 5 key areas to ensure that policies are in place to develop sports in Taiwan, starting with significantly increased funding. Resources for athletes will also be significantly upgraded, he said, including expansions to the National Training Center. Efforts are also underway to expand public sports venues nationwide, cultivate talent, and promote a strong sporting culture nationwide. The president is also promoting amendments to the National Sports Act that protect gender equality and athletes' rights, as well as aid in expanding the sports industry. China held a grand military parade on September 3, inviting Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to join Chinese President Xi atop Tiananmen to watch the People's Liberation Army showcase its military power. The rare appearance of the 3 leaders together drew international attention. As U.S. President Donald Trump escalates a global tariff war that has disrupted international trade, Xi hosted the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO Summit in Tianjin from August 31 to September 1. Days later, on September 3, Beijing staged the parade to mark the 80-year anniversary of the victory in the War of Resistance against Japan and the World Anti-Fascist War. Western media noted that China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran, 4 of America's chief international rivals, were represented at the events. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Joey Chow. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.